Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, interesting. A defensive alliance threatens or urges or demands something from a country that's not a member and a country that did not attack the defensive alliance, that's Russia, and of course the defensive alliance is NATO. Unfortunately, there is a Romanian weasel involved in this one too, and she is the mouthpiece of NATO, called spokesperson. She's a woman because by their name she's a female, and she's Romanian. All right, this article comes from the Jerusalem Post, and it's from October 30th, 2022. NATO calls on Russia to urgently renew Ukraine grain deal. It's not immediately, this one is urgently. Fast, boy. You're not gonna get the tip if you don't move your ass fast enough. That's how it sounds. So much arrogance from these guys, so much arrogance. NATO on Sunday called on Moscow to urgently renew the UN brokered deal that enabled Ukraine to resume grain exports via the Black Sea amid a global food crisis. And I'm quoting, President Putin must stop weaponizing food and end his illegal war on Ukraine. NATO spokeswoman, I'm not going to play their linguistic bullshit, spokesperson. No, you're a spokeswoman, Oana Lungescu. Oana is a female. Okay, Lungescu, Romanian, and Oana, Romanian, said, and I'm quoting, "We call on Russia to reconsider its decision and renew the deal urgently, enabling food to reach those who need it most." Okay, well, I know you're right about this one, Oana. All NATO allies had welcomed the agreement that came about with the help of Turkey, she noted. But she's a person. She's a spokesperson, but then she noted. And I'm quoting, "Those exports have helped reduce food prices the world over," Lungescu Oana added. Well, you are right. Oana, you are definitely right. Unfortunately, Oana, you have no decision power. You're just a spokesperson. That means you read certain things that you are given to read, and sometimes you answer questions, limited questions, but you have no decision-making attributes. So why should I talk to you, basically? Anyway, so in this case, Oana doesn't know probably of what happened, and if she knows, but I understand her job, she can't, get off script. 1 degree, right or left, up or down. She has to be on target. You know why the Russians did that, did you? Come on, scabies. So, it's because, according to the Russians, and that's a very valid point, according to the Russians, some drones, about 16, were launched from some ships, commercial ships that were using the territory, the grain territory, the grain zone territory, corridor, and they were used by these ships who were going and get loaded with grain, turn around and get out. So probably when they went in, I'm assuming, not when they got out, but I don't know, they didn't mention that yet, some drones took off from these things. And they went along the corridor where they were protected, allegedly not covered, whatever, and then they veered towards Sevastopol, Crimean Peninsula, and they damaged some Navy ships over there, including the now the flagship of the Russian fleet in the Black Sea. Russians said that they retrieved some little boxes of Canadian origin from the bottom of the sea, and they concluded with the debris that these things, by calculating and retrieving information, according to the Russians, remember, keep that in mind, they determined that this is what happened, what I told you. So, and they concluded it was the British Navy who orchestrated, planned, and conducted all this. All right, so this is what the Russians said. And they said, well, in this case, we're not going to be doing anything with that. We'll let it be, however the chips may fall. There was another article here that maybe Juana doesn't know, where Ukraine, Turkey, and United Nations informed Russia today, not the outlet, but Russia, in the day of today, the 30th, that there will be, I think, 16 ships tomorrow, the 31st, that will go in and out of the ports. So they will continue getting out grain. And Russia said in a statement, that does not oblige us to do anything. That means, je m'en fous. I don't give up. You know, basically. So that's what they said. And Juana says that these guys have to do what exactly? They don't resume what? They do not stop it? Or are they going to block it? Because the statement that I read was, that doesn't require us to do anything. Anything in what way? Don't participate? Do a blockade? Remember, before the blockade was made, was because of the mines. The Russians said it was the mines that the Ukrainians placed around Odessa and other ports, which was accurate. So the ships could not come anyway. And they put those mines over there, so the Russians do not have a little landing over there. Now Russians, and that was the agreement, that the Russians will not land over there, not that they will protect those ships from anything. That the corridor was just, we allow you to use this one without hitting you, but if there's a military thing, we're going to blow it up. So it was the Ukrainians who put mines, and these guys, we're going to land. Now they say, you know what, that deal is off. That means the Ukrainians can expect Russians landing anytime, if they can. And so they can keep continuing their transit of grain. They're not opposing it. They didn't oppose it from the very beginning, as far as I know. They didn't say nobody can come. It's a blockade on anything that comes. They call it, the Ukrainians call it, it's a blockade. Well, you mind your shit over there. Come and bring the ships over there and load some grain and see how that's going to work for you. So now, probably the Ukrainians, if they're a little bit scared of the Russians landing in Odessa, they will probably remine in the water, in the sea, put a lot of mines to protect from the Russians. Therefore, no ship can come in unless the ship has the exact location of the mines and they're not going to hit them. But don't you think the Russians will be able to? Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think so. So, Juana, I'm sorry for you, but Russia will not do shit. They don't have to do anything. That's what he said. This change doesn't oblige us to do anything. That's what they said. Now, what does it mean do anything? In what way? Because as I said, the United Nations, Turkey, and Ukraine said we're going to deliver 16. We're going to be 16, and this guy said that doesn't mean that we have to do anything about it. So in other words, means you do whatever you need to do. We're going to do whatever we think we should do, and when shit hits the fan, then it hits the fan, and we'll pick up the pieces after that, like an explosion. Oh, here's a tooth, here's a nail, here's a ball, here's a... Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.